Before this video starts, I want to let you know that this video is going to be a bit more personal than my usual content, and that's saying something because all my videos seem to be personal stories. But regardless, the point is, if you're not interested specifically in Portal Plus, or me as a mapper, you're not going to be interested in this video. If you do want to know more about Portal Plus, just watch literally any other video on the channel. Most of them I'm rambling about Portal Plus anyway. Anyway, for those of you still here, I'll be addressing Chapter 5. What state is it in? When can you expect it? And is it going to be any good? To get out of the way, don't worry, it's not ever going to be cancelled. I've sunk too much of my life into this. I won't die until I release this damn map series. So, it's like a release of at least like 60 years anyway. As you may or may not know, Chapter 5 has actually been in progress for nearly 2 years. I started it a few weeks before I even released Overgrown, as I was getting tired of working Overgrown for so long. For the past 2 years, it's been very on and off. Sometimes I've spent a full week doing almost nothing but. And then a few times I've gone nearly a month without even opening Hammer. Basically, progress is either inconsistent or consistently slow. Last year I said that I'd have it done for summer. I missed, clearly, so I decided not to publicly announce when I will have it done. When I made the preview video, I told myself that I'd have it done for Christmas. I missed that. Then I told myself I'd have it done for Easter, and yeah, not out. You can see the theme here. I keep picking the big holiday areas. 2 reasons for this. 1, I'll have no school, so I can actually work on it a lot. And 2, everyone else will be on holiday, or at least the majority of the player base, so then I'll get more plays for my map. As you may guess, now I'm thinking this summer. Now, I know I've got a terrible reputation here, but actually, this one means something this time. I started Overgrown back when I was 15. Overgrown's first run was made at the same time I released Chapter 4. It was just an experiment to see how well I could do an Overgrown aesthetic, and I liked it so much I put it at the start of the actual map. Portal Plus Overgrown ended up being with me for the entirety of my GCSE years, which are the big tests you take in the UK at 15 or 16. When I was done with my GCSEs, I finished Overgrown 2. Now I've been with my A-levels, big test you take when you're 17 or 18 in the UK. I'm reaching the end of that now. I've still got my exams to do, but I think it would fit well if Overgrown was with me for GCSEs, Chapter 5 was with me for A-levels. So now I'm being motivated to ensure that this is done to finalise this section of my life. Although with all that said, obviously work on Chapter 5 will be massively slowed the next 2 months whilst I'm doing exams. I like mapping, but I'm not going to sacrifice passing school for it, so obviously don't expect it to release anytime too soon. I don't want to say I've lost passion for Chapter 5. Whenever I'm thinking of cool games, mods, or just maps I could make, I'm rarely ever thinking of Portal Plus. It's all become a chore for me. I'm not angry making it, there are so many times I enjoy it. I mean, there's a few things I made very recently, in fact, for Chapter 5, which I absolutely love, and I don't know if I've seen anyone in the workshop before. It's not being made out of hate, I'm just running out of fuel. I have so many ideas for other projects which I'm very passionate for, but I've got to finish Chapter 5 first. As for the state of the maps, I want to be transparent here. The first 2 are completely playable, and visually consistent, I'd say, but the problem is more so with the first one, which I worked on in 2022 and early 23, and I haven't touched it since. It's been over a year since I've worked on that first map. Here's a reminder, I started Portal Plus to learn Hammer. That was just to learn Hammer. Obviously I figured it out a while ago, but I just felt obligated to continue Portal Plus. Now with Chapter 5, I have learned a lot in the BTS aesthetic since starting. It's been nearly 2 years. If you look back at Part 1 and compare it to, say, Part 3, there is a big difference. I have gotten better since I started, which means the earlier maps are worse than the later maps. So I need to go back and basically redesign the first 2 maps. Now, on to Part 3, there was this very big section of the map that I've had to completely rework because I just hated the visual look of the room, and I didn't think it could be salvaged. The new version, yes, is much better so far. I'm a fan of the structure, symmetry, detailing, I love it. But it has been very time consuming, and now I have to implement it back into Part 3, stick everything together, polish it all off, so that'll be very time consuming. With Part 4, it was done, but recently I had some ideas to extend in the earlier sections. The ideas I came up with are really cool. When you play it, you will agree with me that it was worth it for that extension. Now, I did start it a few weeks ago, but I do already nearly have it done. Now, as a hypothetical, I could get this playable and released by next week. Yeah. But the main thing that would be time consuming would be going back and revamping the earlier maps. Maybe I'll only go halfway with it and have the earlier ones just be good enough, and the later ones are the really cool ones. Have the earlier ones there just to set the scene. I'm not sure, but I'll see when I get to it. As for the release, I'm hoping to take a sort of TV series approach to it, where the maps get released weekly. The first 2 would be released on the first week, third on the week after that, and the final map on the week after that. Could be a nice send-off to the series, having a few weeks to enjoy it all. I will say, I will not be doing that whilst there is still work to do on the later maps. I would not risk missing that schedule. I would only do this if the later maps were either done or had insanely minor work to be done. My priority during those weeks would hopefully just be on videos. Now, a few moments ago I said the phrase send off to the series, and you've probably been getting this vibe from this whole thing, but just to clarify it, Chapter 5 is going to be, for the foreseeable future, the final entry in the Portal Plus series. I don't plan to continue it afterwards. I have had ideas for chapter 6 or 7, but I just don't see it worth my time to continue doing this when I could be creating my own stuff. And not just Portal 2's story retold. I've actually already developed many ideas and started work on my project after chapter 5. You're going to have to trust me, but when it's out, you will be very glad I cancelled Portal Plus. I'll explain more when chapter 5 is done, but the point is, chapter 5 will be the last entry in Portal Plus. So when is it coming out? Well, I'd love to tell you it's coming out this summer, late July or August. I'm going to try and do my best to do that, but to be completely honest, I'm in a very complicated and stressful and sometimes depressing point in my life, so I hope you understand if I manage to miss this again. My current plan is for my next video to be a chapter 5 video, so don't expect any more from me until it's done. See ya.